Hello students, Mr. Greg here. I hope you're doing well. Today I'm going to go over lesson 8's homework. Your assignment was to install 2 more LEDs, another red and another yellow, and then write a program that would dim the left LED when I move the joystick to the left, dim the right LED when I move the joystick to the right, and the same for the yellow LEDs up and down. And then for a bonus, if you were able to make the LEDs get brighter in the direction that I moved the joystick, then that was for extra credit. So anyway, we're going to go over all of that and show you a few things and then move on. So first thing we need to do is set up our circuit. So I've already laid out my components. If you haven't, you can see I've got 2 additional LEDs and of course 2 more resistors and plus 4 wires that I'm anticipating I'll need, but maybe not. And so I'm going to get started. I'm going to change our view here so you can see this a little bit better. And that was not the one I wanted. All right, so here is the circuit. And so the first thing I'm going to do is install my red LED. And I'm going to, you can see the longer wire. I'll be careful not to put it in the column that I have my yellow one currently hooked up. And so I'm going to install it there with my longer or positive input towards the top. And then of course I'll need the resistor. You can use a 220 ohm or a 330 ohm resistor, just depending on how bright you want your LEDs. So I have that. Let's see, since I have a red wire, a red LED, I'm going to use a red wire. So I've got this one, and I think I'm going to put my second LED in pin number 3. Again, it's got the squiggly line because I do want to use the in-between voltages to make this dim. So of course I need to move that to ground, so I'm just using a black wire. Typically black means ground, and I've set up a ground rail. We did that at in the last video, and so I'm just going to connect that to ground right here. All right, now on my yellow LED, I'm going to hook it here like this. It doesn't really matter which direction, just keep in your mind which one is the positive. And then on the positive input, I'm going to put my resistor. Again, if you get behind, just pause the video and get caught up and restart it. Be careful not to touch there. And then I may not have a long enough yellow wire here. We'll try it and see. And then I got my yellow wire, and I'm going to hook my yellow wire to pin number I don't want to do that. To pin number I'm going to do it, let's see here. Pin number 5. And of course I need to run that back to ground, so I'm going to do that here. I hope this isn't too confusing for you. The good news is my next video I will actually have a diagram drawn out for you. So I hope you can see that well, but this is stuff you should know. I've basically just hooked up the LEDs, put my resistors in, and then put them on the pin in the appropriate pins. And so make a note of what I've done here. All right, now that we have everything hooked up, let's write some code. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to come here, and we've We've added 2 LEDs, so we'll need to create 2 more variables for those LEDs. And so I'm going to do that here. Int. I'm going to call it red LED 2. Oops. And I put that in pin number, what did I put it in? I already forgot. Number 3. And again, I'm not going to do my comments because I don't want the video to be too long and a little bit boring. But I expect you, when you turn your homework in, to have the comments in here. Put the yellow, oops, I want to do yellow LED 2. That would have been bad. And I put that in pin number 5. Oops. Pin number 5. All right. So we're going to have 2 more values for those 2 pins, and they can possibly be different. So we're going to set up a bucket for those to be put in. LVal. Oops. So red LED 2 LVal and yellow 2 LVal. All right, I think that is good. I'm shooting from the hip a little bit here. You know what? I don't think I am going to do that. I'm going to do this different. I'm going to use if statements. Good practice for you there. All right, so now that we've done that, we do need to set up a couple more pin modes. So we've got pin mode, what was it? Red LED 2 is an output, and pin mode yellow LED 2 is an output, not an outie. Wow, it's early. Output. All right, I think that looks pretty good. If there's something we missed, we'll go back and fix that. So the next thing we need to do is create some if-then statements, right? So I was thinking about this, and I was thinking when my joystick is in the neutral position or I'm not touching it, I don't want any of my LEDs to be on. And so I need to find that value, which I did earlier, but you can find the value which will be different on yours by opening up your serial monitor and looking at the values on your serial monitor when you're not touching your joystick. If you remember correctly, we did the red value at 125, and I believe that's what where mine started to light up, and so if I say the red value is less than 125, then I want to read that red value to the red LED. And if it's greater or equal to 125, then I want to write it low and basically turn it off. Well, in this case, I want to change this value because at 125, my LED still lights up. And so it's really needs to be at probably I would say 128. So if it's greater than or equal to 128, then what I want to do let's try this different. I'll put it right here. If it's at 128, then what I want to do, if red L value is greater than or equal to 128, then I want to turn my right red LED on. So then I want to analog right to which one? Red. What did I call it? Go back up here and look. Make sure I get this right. Red LED 2. Red LED 2. And I want it to write the red value. Oops. All right. And then if it's not, then I want it to turn red LED to low. Yeah, that makes sense. My brackets ended. All right. So what if red red L value is greater than 125, but less than 128? In other words, if it was 126, what would I want my LED to do? Well, that means it was in the neutral position. And so I need another if statement. If red value is equal, it's important that you put both equals in there, because if you just put equal, then it's going to think you're just writing red L val as 126. So you put equal in there, close that off, curly bracket. And so if it is at 126, then what do I want to do? Well, I want to digital write red LED low and I want to digital write red LED to low. So basically what I'm saying is, let's go back up and go over this so you understand. So if red L value is less than 125, then we're going to analog write red LED to red val. Okay? All right, I see what I've done wrong. I've forgotten something here. And then we want to digital, oops, small d, digital write red LED to low. See my mistake. And then down here, we just want to write red. All right, so if red L value is less than 125, which means we have the joystick to the left, then we want to write that value to the red LED, which is the LED on the left, and we want to digital write to red LED 2, the one on the right, low. In other words, we turn it off. All right, if it's greater than 128, then we want to write that value to red LED 2, and we want to turn off the red LED, the one on the left. And then if it's equal to 126, let's do a different statement. Oops. Because we got 125, we got 128, we got 126. Where are we missing? 127. So let's do an OR statement. And OR is the shift / OR 127. Then we want to turn them both off, low, low. So I hope that makes sense to you. All right, so we want to do the same thing for the yellow LED. Again, we're going to start, I'm going to give myself some space. We're going to start with an if statement. If yellow L-val is less than, and I've looked these up too, and its neutral position is right around 125. So I'm going to say if my value goes to less than 124, then I want to analog write, capital W, to yellow LED, yellow value. Hope that makes sense. So if I've got the yellow LED on, then I want the yellow LED or the lower one turned off, right? And so I want to digital write yellow LED 2. And if I didn't get some of these terms right, it'll let me know, and I'll have to go back and fix them. But this is all part of how you program. All right. So close bracket. All right, so that turns the top one on. So now we want to turn the bottom one on. So if yellow valve is greater than, so I'm going to have 125 as my neutral. So I'm going to do 126 is when it turns on, and we might have to mess with that. Then I want to analog write to yellow LED 2, and I want to write yellow val. And so if I have the bottom one turned on, I want to have the top one turned off. So I'm going to digital write to yellow LED, and I'm going to turn it off. All right. So far, so good. We've written a lot of code. I think I'm going to download and test it before we write any more. This is a good practice because it will let you see if you have any errors before they all stack up. So I'm going to switch to our, see, I'm plugged in. Oh, there we go. It looks good. I can see a problem. My yellow LED is lit up. That means one of my values isn't right, but let me just test. That one comes on, that one comes on. All right. My right ones do not come on. That tells me I have a problem. with that. I'm going to check that out and I'll come back and tell you what that problem was. All right, I think I found my problem. I forgot to take out this analog write from the previous program. And so I was telling it to do two different things. So I'm going to take that out and I'm going to try to download it again. Oh, so you can see. Up here at the top, we had an analog write. And let's see if I can undo that. We had an analog write in our program. You may still have it from your previous program. And so we needed to take that out because that was contradicting what we were trying to do. To download this. This is all part of it. It's good it happens. It helps you too. All right. It seemed to like that so far, but we're going to look and see. So now I have my joystick here. And we get that green light actually acts as a safety light. So if I go to the left, nothing happens. If I go to the right, nothing happens. All right. Stay tuned. All right, I figured out what my problem was. It did not like my OR statement that we put up here. I'm not sure why, and I'm not going to take the time to figure that out. But that condition, for some reason, is looking for both of those to occur. And so I'm going to take that out. I'm going to download my program here. Oh, I'm sorry. You probably can't see that. Again, that OR statement was, we had put in 126 and 127. So I just went through here in my if-then statement and deleted that. And then I'm going to download it. Now let's see what we got. We got the green light, so that's a good sign. So if I move my joystick to the left, the red LED lights up until I get all the way to the end, the furthest left, and then it shuts off. And then on the right, it gets brighter as I go right. I don't know if you can see that, but it gets brighter. Then my yellow, push up, it turns on. It looks like I got my value, needs to be changed. And then if I pull down, the one on the bottom lights up. And then I can do like in between here. So I don't like when I push up all the way, it turns off. I would rather it get brighter as I push up. And the same for the one on the left, the red LED, which it gets dimmer as I go. And so I don't like that. And so I want to change that. I wonder how we can do that. But before we do that, I'm going to open up the serial monitor and let's look at that and see what my values are for my yellow LED, and we can change those. And you'll probably have to do this for yours also. So I'm going to open up my serial monitor so you can see it. And my Y values are 125 in the neutral position. So when I'm not touching it, it's 125, which I thought was what we did. Oh, there's a 126. No, mainly 125. So let's go back and look at our code and see if we can maybe make a change on this. I have it at 124. Yeah, that's right. 124, 126. So I wonder if I Here we go. Oh, I don't have it where to turn off. That's the problem. I've left off an if statement. All right, so let's go back and put that in. If, you probably recognize that, yellow val is equal to 125, curly bracket. Then we're just going to turn them both off, right? So digital right, let me move this so you can see this better. Digital right yellow LED low, and digital right yellow LED 2 low, LOW. All right, so let's download that and let's see if it works. I'm gonna get us to there. It's liking it. So if I go up, turns on until I go too far, and then it turns it off. Don't like that. Bottom one's on, left one's on, right one's on. All right, so how can we fix this so that it works a little bit better, works like what we want to? So basically what we want to do is inverse the value that goes to the LED. And how do we do that? Well, and the red LED. So let's start with the red one. So this red LED is my left one, and that's the condition I'm really writing for. And so right now, if the value is 0, then it writes 0 to red LED and turns it off. But when my value is 0, that means my joystick is all the way to the left. And so if you open your serial monitor, you can see that we showed earlier. And so what I need to do is invert that. And the way I'm going to do that is I put in 255 minus that value. So now if it's 0, it writes 255 to the red LED instead of 0. And then I want to do the same thing for the yellow LED. And we just want to do it for the left and top one, right? So 255 minus. So let's download that and see if it works. Dun, 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 dun. All right. So now when I go left, turns on, gets brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter, which you probably can't see in the camera, but it does as I go left. And then as I go up, it gets brighter, 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 and brighter. And then down, and then right, and in between, because I couldn't do it straight, left. So I hope you were able to do that. And if you were able to invert it, then that's a bonus. So anyway, our next video, we're going to start working with the DC motor, and eventually we're going to get where we can drive the DC motor with our joystick. That would be something useful to be able to program, because when we eventually start building robots, we'll need to be able to move a left and right motor, or move them both, to make our robot move. So if you have any questions, give me a call or shoot me an email, and I hope you have a great day.